The air doesn't move. It hangs thick and heavy, crackling with a dry heat that radiates from the reddish cracked earth beneath your feet. A faint resinous scent, sharp and unfamiliar, drifts from forests of trees that look like overgrown spiky pines and stout palm-like cycads. This is not the lush, steaming jungle you might imagine. This is a world painted in ochre and rust, a vast semi-arid landscape under a sun that feels impossibly intense in a pale, hazy sky. Far in the distance, the silver thread of a wide, shallow river braids its way across the plain, its banks clustered with the only deep greens you can see, dense thickets of horsetails and giant leathery ferns. Ever wonder what it truly felt like to stand on an earth still healing, to breathe the air of a planet starting anew? We would love to know where you are watching from today, and which chapter of our planet's deep history absolutely fascinates you. Let us know in the comments below. Now, let's journey back in time and uncover the story of a lost world. You are standing in the middle of the Triassic Period, roughly 230 million years ago. But to truly understand this place, you have to know what came before. Not long ago, geologically speaking, this entire planet was nearly silenced. Life faced its greatest challenge, an extinction event so profound it's now called the Great Dying. Almost all life in the oceans and on land was wiped away, leaving a world of ghosts and opportunity. This landscape is life's second draft, a grand evolutionary experiment on a near-empty canvas. You are on the one piece of real estate that matters, the supercontinent of Pangaea. All the continents we know today are locked together in a single colossal landmass stretching from pole to pole. This geography creates a climate of extremes. The continental interior, where you stand, is an immense desert, thousands of miles from the moderating influence of the global ocean, Panthalassa. For much of the year, it is brutally hot and dry. But this world has a rhythm. Pangaea's sheer size generates mega monsoons, and for a few months each year, torrential rains will transform these arid plains, feeding the great river systems that are the arteries of this recovering world. This is not yet a kingdom of giants. The thunderous footsteps are still echoes in the future. This is a world of survivors and pioneers, a testing ground for new forms of life, all vying for a foothold in the dawn of a new age. As you scan this ancient river valley, you begin to realize the quiet is deceptive. This world is not empty. It is simply ruled by a different dynasty of giants. This is the age of the Archosaurs, the ruling reptiles, a vast and successful family of animals that exploded into the ecological vacuum left by the Great Extinction. They are the new masters of Pangaea, and their family tree has split into two great competing lineages, two rival blueprints for life on land. One branch will eventually give rise to the crocodiles and alligators of today. In the Triassic, their relatives are the undisputed titans of the food chain. The other branch, experimenting with a slightly different body plan, will lead to the pterosaurs, the birds, and of course, the dinosaurs. But that destiny is far from certain. Right now, the crocodile line Archosaurs hold all the cards. A sudden, heavy rustling in a thicket of ferns downstream draws your eye. Something massive emerges, moving with a terrifying confidence. It's a Rauisuchian, a colossal predator that looks like a nightmarish fusion of a crocodile and a dragon. It walks on four powerful pillar-like legs, its body held high off the ground, and its enormous head, filled with blade-like teeth, swings slowly from side to side, tasting the air. This creature, nearly 20 feet long, is the apex predator of this environment. It is a walking fortress of muscle and armored hide, and compared to it, the first dinosaurs, wherever they may be, are little more than fleeting shadows. Further along the riverbank, you spot another member of this dominant family line. An Etasaur, an armored herbivore, methodically digs at the base of a cycad with its strange, pig-like snout. Its entire back is a shield of thick, interlocking bony plates, a defense so effective it seems impenetrable. You are witnessing a world where the crocodile's ancestors have conquered the land, evolving into giant carnivores, resilient walking tanks, and a dozen other successful forms. They are powerfully built, heavily armed, and perfectly adapted to this harsh Triassic landscape. They seem unbeatable. With such formidable creatures already command of the world, you have to wonder, how could anything else possibly compete? Where is there room for a new dynasty to take root? The answer isn't in brute force or impenetrable armor, but in a subtle revolutionary tweak to the Archosaur body plan, hiding in plain sight. The secret lies not in size, but in engineering. As you watch the great Rauisuchian patrol its territory, you notice its legs, while powerful, are held slightly to the sides. It's a system that works, but it requires constant muscular effort to support its immense weight. Hiding in the undergrowth, however, is the next great evolutionary leap. You are about to witness the birth of a blueprint that will enable a dynasty to rule the world for over 150 million years. It all comes down to the hips. Imagine a simple ball and socket joint, like your own shoulder. That's how the hip of most reptiles works. Now imagine drilling a hole straight through the socket in the hip bone, creating an opening instead of a cup. This single elegant modification is the key. This hole, the perforate acetabulum, changes everything. To fit into this new open-ended socket, the top of the thigh bone, the femur, evolved a head that turns sharply inward, almost at a right angle. The result of this new arrangement is revolutionary. The legs are no longer splayed to the sides. They are drawn directly underneath the body, straight and vertical like the pillars of a temple. This posture is a marvel of biological efficiency. The skeleton, not just the muscles, now bears the body's full weight. This frees up major muscle groups for a different purpose, providing powerful forward and backward thrust. It creates an animal built for stamina and speed. You can see it in action now. A small creature, no bigger than a large dog, darts from the shadow of a giant fern. It moves on two legs, its body held horizontally, its tail outstretched for balance. Its movements are not the side-to-side waddle of a lizard, nor the heavy tread of the crocodile-line archosaurs. It moves with a fluid, bird-like grace, its stride long and efficient. This is the dinosaur blueprint in motion. This anatomical tweak is what defines a dinosaur, separating them from their archosaur cousins. It is the design that will allow them to run faster, travel farther, and ultimately conquer the globe. It is the birth of the fearfully great lizard. The creature you are watching is Eoraptor lunensis. Its name is a perfect summary of its existence, a story etched in bone. Eoraptor means the dawn plunderer, a title that marks it as one of the very first, a thief of life at the dawn of the age of dinosaurs. The second part of its name, lunensis, honors the place where its ghost was found millions of years later, Argentina's Valle de la Luna, the Valley of the Moon. It is a humble pioneer, and its body tells a story of survival through versatility, not dominance. It is barely 3 feet long from its snout to the tip of its tail, a lightweight predator that would barely come up to your knee. The first dinosaurs, it turns out, were not titans. They were small, swift, and built to stay out of trouble. You watch as it moves through the low, scrubby vegetation. Its slender, athletic body, a direct result of that innovative hip structure, is perfectly balanced by its long tail. It is a creature made for quick bursts of speed. Its head is small and its gaze is sharp, constantly scanning its surroundings, listening for the slightest sound. It is both hunter and hunted. Its focus now is on a small lizard-like reptile sunning itself on a rock. The Eoraptor lowers itself, every muscle coiled, and then darts forward with incredible speed. Its 5-fingered hands tipped with sharp little claws, perfectly suited for grasping such small prey. But its diet is not limited to meat. A closer look at its jaws would reveal 2 different types of teeth. Some are sharp and curved like those of a carnivore, but others are flatter and leaf-shaped, better suited for shredding plants. This dental toolkit reveals the secret to its success. It is an opportunist, an omnivore. When a hunt fails, it can sustain itself on the tough leaves of ferns or cycads. This adaptability is critical in the harsh seasonal world of Triassic Pangea. Eoraptor cannot overpower the great Rauisuchians or armored etosaurs that command this landscape. It survives by being nimble, by having a diet that is not too specialized, and by living in the margins. It is a blueprint for resilience, a quiet promise that from these humble, shadowy beginnings, a dynasty is poised to grow. Not all of the first dinosaurs were content to live in the shadows. As you follow the river further, you see that the new blueprint was already being scaled up for a more dangerous purpose. A much larger form emerges from a grove of conifers, moving with the same bipedal grace as Eoraptor, but with a newfound authority. This is Herrerasaurus, and it is a different beast entirely. Stretching up to 20 feet in length, it's as long as a modern saltwater crocodile, and its presence immediately changes the atmosphere. This is not a nimble omnivore. This is a dedicated, powerful hunter. Its long, deep skull is an arsenal of serrated blade-like teeth, some over 2 inches long. This is the mouth of a pure carnivore. Its anatomy shows a creature becoming more specialized for the hunt. Its hands, unlike the primitive 5-fingered grasp of Eoraptor, are dominated by 3 long, powerful digits, each tipped with a wickedly curved claw designed to seize and restrain struggling prey. The other 2 fingers are reduced to tiny clawless splints. You are witnessing an early step toward the iconic 3-fingered hand of the great carnivores that would follow millions of years later. But its most unique weapon is hidden inside its mouth. Herrerasaurus possessed a special sliding joint in its lower jaw, allowing it to flex and absorb the impacts of its prey's struggles, creating a shocking and inescapable grip. The very existence of such a large and active predator raises one of the most fascinating questions in paleontology. What was powering it? To sustain this high-octane lifestyle, chasing down prey, battling rivals, requires a tremendous amount of energy. Its upright posture and athletic build hint at a creature with a high metabolism, something more akin to a modern bird than a slow-moving reptile. This suggests that the warm-blooded, high-energy engine that drove the later dinosaur giants may have been ignited right at the start of their lineage. Still, for all its power, Herrerasaurus was not yet the king. It was a formidable hunter of mid-sized animals, but it still had to respect the sheer power of the giant Rauisuchians. It was a sign of things to come, proof that the Dinosaur Blueprint could be scaled for dominance. Even with the power of Herrerasaurus demonstrating their potential, the dinosaurs are still just one thread in the complex tapestry of Triassic life. You are in a world of established dynasties and evolutionary holdovers, and the dinosaur's success is far from guaranteed. Their niche is that of the agile up-and-comer, but this world is already full of giants. The shadow of the great Rauisuchian still looms large, a constant reminder of who truly rules. Even a pack of Herrerasaurus would pause and give wide berth to a full-grown adult of these apex predators. The crocodile-line Archosaurs are, for now, the masters of this world. But they are not the only competitors. Wandering through the fern prairies near the river, you see a herd of creatures that seem to have walked out of a different, older world. These are the Dicynodonts, tusked herbivores like Placerias. They are not reptiles in the same way as the Archosaurs. They are synapsids, distant relatives of mammals. With their barrel-chested bodies, turtle-like beaks, and a pair of prominent tusks jutting down from their upper jaws, they look utterly bizarre. They are resilient holdovers from before the Great Dying, survivors who have thrived in this new world, becoming the dominant large-bodied plant eaters in many ecosystems. They are a reminder that the dinosaurs had to compete not only with their Archosaur cousins, but also with successful lineages from entirely different branches of life's tree. This Triassic landscape is a mosaic of evolutionary experiments. There are armored etosaurs, strange-beaked rhynchosaurs, and giant salamander-like amphibians lurking in the waterways. It is a world in a strange, precarious balance. The dinosaurs' advantage is not in overwhelming power or impenetrable armor. It is in their efficiency. That simple tweak to the hip and legs gives them a unique capacity for sustained, agile movement. They are adaptable and built for action. In this crowded and dangerous world, they are carving out a living, surviving, and thriving in the spaces between the giants. They are biding their time, perfectly poised. And that is crucial, because the stable, competitive world of the late Triassic is about to be shattered by another wave of global extinction. And when the dust settles, only the most adaptable will remain to inherit the planet. The world of competitors fades into deep time. The Triassic period ends not with a slow transition, but with another cataclysm. Volcanoes on a colossal scale erupt across central Pangaea, choking the atmosphere and altering the climate. The great extinction that follows is selective. The lumbering Dicynodonts vanish. The mighty Rauisuchians, the undisputed rulers of the Triassic, are wiped from the face of the earth forever. But the dinosaurs, with their efficient bodies, adaptable diets, and perhaps a higher metabolism, survive. The world is once again an empty canvas, and this time they are perfectly positioned to seize it. 230 million years pass in an instant. The wind still blows across the same patch of Earth, but the supercontinent has shattered, and this land is now Western Argentina. The landscape is a stark and hauntingly beautiful desert of wind-carved rock, known as the Isquigualasto Formation, or more poetically, the Valley of the Moon. It is here, in these layered beds of ancient river sediment, that the ghosts of the first dinosaurs waited. For decades, paleontologists have walked these badlands, finding the bones not just of Eoraptor and Herrerasaurus, but of the entire ecosystem they inhabited, all locked in stone together. These discoveries fundamentally rewrote the story of dinosaur origins. They proved that the first dinosaurs were not lumbering giants, but small, nimble creatures that spent millions of years in the shadow of other animals. The Valley of the Moon was not so much a dinosaur graveyard as it was a dinosaur nursery. It gave us a perfect snapshot of the moment before their ascent, revealing the long, slow struggle they faced before another extinction event cleared the path for their eventual global domination. It is a humbling reminder that even the greatest dynasties can have the most modest of beginnings. These fossils are a direct message from the dawn of their age. The story of these first pioneers is a testament to the resilience of life, a reminder that the blueprints for greatness are often forged in the harshest of crucibles. From these small Triassic survivors, an entire dynasty would rise to conquer the globe, diversifying into an astonishing array of forms, from the plated armor of Stegosaurus to the colossal bulk of Argentinosaurus and the terrifying power of Tyrannosaurus rex. Every one of those later giants carried within it the same fundamental hip structure, the same legacy of that small bipedal creature that first darted through the Triassic undergrowth. These bones, unearthed from a valley of stone, are our tangible connection to that pivotal moment. They allow us to stand at the dawn of their world and wonder at the sheer improbable journey that was about to begin. A journey that would define our planet for an unimaginable length of time.